Good morning. Hi, everybody. It's me. And by me, I mean Halfd0rk. How's everybody's doing? How's everybody's doing? How's everybody's day going? Morning, afternoon, evening. So I wanted to explore the idea of having kind of like a set. Hey, Ghost of Mars. Hi there. Welcome. I have to complete my thoughts. It's still morning for me, so I'm waking up. A set agenda. That's the word I was looking for. I need an agenda for today. So, let's pop over to Sandbox. Yesterday, we ended with learning a few things on a dorm or rubble, debris, detriment might be destroyed by like using TNT or an explosive. So for example, this wall here. Go West. Good morning. Ghost, I just claimed my Connor Poap. It's Conrad, isn't it? It's Conrad. Pop pop. So that's what we made yesterday. So I'm probably going to clean this up today because I do want to use that mechanic. And yeah, that's my current plan. A couple more things is I wanted there to be a timer set up for this mushroom. So for example, as soon as you pick it up, it's going to start a 30-second timer to where the mushroom itself will explode. If you don't, bring it to one of these walls. Also want it to kind of have this 1 second delay before it explodes. And I'd like for there to be some fungi kind of hidden among here. So, I decided on a new name for this game. And I would love your opinion, especially from you, V. Hi, how are you? Good morning. Is it morning for you too, V? So, opinions. I'm even gonna do a poll. I don't think you guys are ready for this. Okay, so the new name is gonna be in the poll. I'm not even gonna say it out loud. And so you'll be able to vote for the next 2 minutes. We'll do 120 seconds. And it's on screen too. Hey, Nick Skull's here. Swallow 38. Welcome, both of you. Help me with this poll here. I'm renaming my game. It was so stupid how it occurred to me, but I really want this to be unique. It's Fungus Among Us. So I'm renaming the game to Fungus Among Us. But if it's dumb, we're not going to be using it. In fact, it is dumb. And we're going to be using it because it's dumb. But yes, good morning all. Thanks for popping in, saying hi. If there's any questions you all might have about Game Maker, mechanics, anything that I can help you with, I'd be more than happy to walk through and struggle through, any of your various conundrums. V just stream. It was my honor. Thanks for following me. I also set up, a pun command. So if you notice, just saying the word pun, Dorkbot responded, so that's fun. I set up all these little things. The little things, guys. It's the little things. But yeah, poll's closed. Right? It should remove itself, too. See? Man, fancy stuff. We are in the 21st century in this stream. And, yeah, Among Us. Fungus Among Us. And it just makes sense because these fungi are hiding among us. So you're darn tootin' I'm gonna name it that. It's good for marketing, too. To ride on the shoulders of the powerful. But for those of you that aren't aware, my game is focused on this idea that the fungus and the fungi people are kind of hiding throughout my area, my 1x1 land. And so your job is going to be to wrangle them in, and this is the wrangle site. And so as you get close, it's supposed to zap you, and when it zaps you, you respawn. But it's more than just a kind of respawn, it's more like a checkpoint. So now if I were to die, I would spawn right there. And I have other checkpoints throughout the zone. So, for example, this is probably where the player will spawn initially. And so I have a lot of decorating to do. However, I want for these streams to be kind of informative. And this is what I realized, and Nervex helped me understand this, is like, this is a great time to ask questions. And so you're not really going to ask questions about like design in terms of, you know, cool, like what looks good. You're probably going to be asking questions about game making. And so that's what I want to be here as a service. More or less, like, I want to be an entertaining source for, you know, your questions in Game Maker. And I've also come to the conclusion that, you know, I am sharing a lot about this game and, you know, what it will become before it's, you know, out there. And I am putting, you know, my ideas at risk. So there's a good chance the very last week of February I won't be streaming as much. But we'll see. Little Legion, good morning to you. How's your day going? So Little Legion, I decided, I think, to rename my game. The Fungus Among Us. It was a great day. Hey, that's what we like to hear. Well, I'm happy to be the nightcap. I'll do everything but tuck you in, Little Legion. Not gonna tuck you into bed. Fungus Among Us, yep. It's, I think the play on words is better. Better than Fungal Feud. Do you need to code to make games in the Sandbox? No, you do not. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to it. Game making always has this, like, coding background that you needed to get started. But then, you know, people started making software like Game Maker that everything's visual. This is a visual game making software. So like I'm navigating in 3D space, adding assets, adding blocks. And no coding necessary. So it's very beginner friendly. So I am going to be building out this cave, which we ended with yesterday. You bring these TNT mushrooms. And we'll do TNT mushroom. We'll keep that. Custom text we'll remove. But we want this to have a timer. So that's the first thing we'll start with today. Is this mushroom will explode in our hands after a certain amount of time. So Mary here is going to be chilling. Mushroom Mary. She'll be chilling, and we don't want her walking around too much. So we're just going to remove the citizen behavior. So when you get close, she'll give you this message. What we can do is have her be the timer starter. So if you walk up and you grab a mushroom, which she'll be like right in front of. Obviously, you know, all of this extra debris and rocks, we don't really need it. And so I'll help clear that up. We'll even have a bowl here to like represent, you know, this is an item one can pick up. We'll call it TNT Mushroom Spawner. And we don't even need to set anything up for this yet, because it honestly is more visual than like an actual spawner. Because this mushroom, which is our exploding mushroom, basically resets when it dies. So all of this is pretty much set up inside the mushroom. We don't need to set up this spawner, but it's there as a visual representation. Yo, nice dance moves, Little Legion. Oh, I like your avatar, it's cute. So, now that that's put in place, Mary is going to send out a message whenever we get too close to her. So what will she say? She'll say TNT.timer. And so, oh, I put that on the wrong thing. I accidentally put it on the health component, so we'll just make sure that's set to none. Because we don't want her just dying and sending out weird messages. We wanted it on the speaker component. So it's TNT.timer. So, now we're going to use a number pad. The number pad is just a great default kind of message holder. That's really the only thing people use it for, is just as a way to communicate with assets. And that's by changing behaviors and components on the number pad. So we'll call this TNT number pad 1. And that's a naming convention I use. I highly recommend you too find a naming convention that works for you. So it's going to have the health component. And the reason why is because health component is one of two ways you can make a timer. So this one, for example, when it dies after 10 seconds, we want it to reset, but we also want it to send a message after those 10 seconds. So basically, when we approach Mary here, it's going to tell this timer to basically start that 10-second delay death. And so, when that message finally goes out, when it finally receives the actual death, it'll send out a new message. And so this is my preferred way of making a timer. However, there is another way, and we watched Touche actually, or I'm sorry, this was during Alex Kamisawa's his stream. He showed that you can use a platform. And so, just to demonstrate how that one would work, and then we'll go back to the health component. He had added a basic platform, and then he had a second number pad act as a detect entity.
You know, you make a choice to win, and you win. I'm sorry, winning.
Winning. Yo, HCN, SSB, what it do? How are you? And so I'm just demonstrating here that when that number pad that's on as a platform moves into that radius, that was a timer. So if you choose, you can use health or basic platform. Both of them work and they do the same thing. I believe basic platform is a little bit harder to get the timing right because you're not actually putting in a death delay like you are with health. Instead, you're kind of gauging via this speed here. And there's also a wait duration. One thing that's also worth noting is using the basic platform, like this could be on a loop. So every time it stays there, leaves, comes back, it's respawning whatever asset. And so that can be useful in certain situations. So I implore you to try it. Great. So moving back to our TNT. Yeah, so a pausable timer. Exactly. And so it's not a timer I've used frequently, so I'd love to hear how you might use it too, Little Legion. But the one I often use is the health component, and so that's what I'm setting up here. So basically, we pick up this mushroom, and just by being within Mary's radius, it's going to start that timer. The only thing I wish I could add is a visual kind of cue that there's a timer. So, well, we will add one. And this is what I used for the glider. I used fireflies, which Touche made. We're going to put those a little bit in the ground. We'll call them TNT fireflies. And we want them to basically spawn as soon as that message is received, which was TNT timer. They'll be spawning fireflies. So right now I'm setting up the asset spawner here. Yeah, I use the health one more often too. See, Little Legion, we're kind of pros. You know, it is what it is. Only amateurs use basic platforms. I'm kidding. Both of them have their niches. So these TNT fireflies, we want them to have a specific tag because we want to kill them after a certain amount of time. So we'll use the same tag as the TNT mushroom because both of the items will be destroyed after 30 seconds. HC, no. Honestly, the platform, if you prefer it, it does the same things. So it's like, nothing wrong with it. I was just memeing, bro. Or sis. Just memeing, sis. Great. So we wanted to have the TNT tag. And that's because... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just point out what I did there because it would have become a problem. I put the tag on the spawner itself. We want the tag to be on the spawn. So what would have happened was my spawner, the thing that was creating the fireflies, would have been destroyed. And we don't want that. So again, this is just a representation, these fireflies here. We'll give them no collisions, but they will be spawning every time this message is received. TNT.timer. Oh, it sucks, HC. One is set to 1 block a second, and the other is 3 blocks per second, and they don't loop. Yeah, I could see how that'd be a problem. Looping is certainly, you know, something that you have to perfect, especially if you want it to be consistent. Hey, yo, DJ, EJ, how are ya doing? How's it going, friend? Namaste. Dude, namaste right here, dude. I'm gonna stay right here. Alright, so I think we have most things set up here. Yeah, TNT timer. It dies. So this is the last thing we need to set up. We need, when it dies, to set, to tag TNT. We want it to have a message that will be received that destroys a couple of things. We need it to destroy everything with the tag TNT. I need to move these fireflies, they're in the way. So for example, this mushroom is going to be dying on TNT.die. Oh, I spelled mushroom wrong. Muchroom. You good, brother. Awesome. Use Namaste to give to start the quest. For today, we'll do that. I'm gonna delete this one. I think what I decided is that I'm only going to have one quest in my game. I take that back. There'll be one quest that you can do to beat the game, but then when you beat the game, you have like an optional quest. So there will be a total of 2 quests in my game. All of the quote-unquote side quests, I'm not going to have tracked. And so those of you that are aware, or are just watching right now, you don't have to be aware, is when you get a quest, it shows up here on the right side of the screen. And so I personally think the more quests that you have, it can be confusing for a player. It can kind of lead them astray. Namaste, DJJ. I love the word namaste because from what I remember during my visit in India, it's about, you know, like seeing the light within someone. Correct me if I'm wrong, DJJ. But I just love that. I love it. It's amazing. Thanks, V. V. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, V. You know what rhymes with V? Sorry. Alright. So we want the TNT to die. Instant death message. TNT.die. We can actually use this. We've already set it up to where whenever we bring... Oh, Little Legion. Pro moves. Oh, I'm sorry. V, that's on me, dude. Or Dudette. I need to reset that at the start of every chain. The start of every stream. So that's on me. I'll get in the habit of that. I think what I need to make is a checklist of things to do before I go live. And so that has officially made it onto the checklist. So, the only thing that needs to be kind of mentioned here is that the asset spawner, we can't give it a specific tag or a health component that will receive the message TNT.die. So, we need to ensure that this timer has a new way to destroy those fireflies as well as the mushroom. And I think what we'll need to use in this specific situation is a message broadcaster. We don't want it to be visible. We want to go ahead and turn off collisions. We'll call it TNT number pad 2. And so it's going to be sending a message after 30 seconds. So after it receives TNT.timer, we want it to send a new message that will start a void. And so those of you that are familiar with the void, this particular void, which I'll go ahead and use the actual void asset, because that actually is a good way for me to understand, you know, just at a glance, that this is the void. So we'll call it TNT void 1. Turn off collisions. And so this void will be destroying any of the fireflies. And and only the fireflies. Which does mean that my asset spawner, I should probably change it. And you'll see what I mean. So this is going to be receiving that broadcast. So we want TNT dot timer 2. And so this is the message being sent out after 30 seconds of TNT timer. And this is me kind of like demonstrating how a timer might be used. Hey, Maxi Mac. Good after evening? How are you today, Maxi? So I do want to change the asset spawner here. And we'll just keep a mental note of everything that was in the asset spawner. I actually recommend having a way to take screenshots very easily and efficiently. ShareX is the software I use. And by taking a screenshot, like I won't lose much of anything just by deleting this. Because I already have this pulled up on my other screen here. TNT, fireflies, spawner. So we're just removing these and basically putting everything that was in our firefly spawner, simply because our void behavior here was going to be deleting anything that looked like a firefly, you know? So I'm essentially just making this our new firefly spawner. They don't need a tag because the void behavior is taking care of it. It actually does not need a tag. We don't want them to have collisions, but we do want it to spawn whenever the TNT timer is first received. One thing to keep in mind is the TNT timer will activate whenever we come near Mary. So we might want to set things up to where it's not spamming. And that being said, we can do a delay between spawns. And let's just put it at 15. So it's basically going to spawn a firefly minimum 15 seconds. And Maxi, it's 1:30 for you. Well, good afternoon. What's for lunch? Yo, congrats on the Wizzy hat. That's awesome. Maxi, you won it? I had guests, so I had to dip yesterday. It was awesome surprise. Yo, dude, we're in the club now. We're wizards. Whoops. What did I just do? Alright. So I believe I have everything set up. But is my belief in myself strong enough? Is the belief in myself enough? Let's find out. Oh, I know the feeling, V. I hope all of you get to experience that, you know. Hey, I just lucked out. I won something worth quite a bit of money. I hope you all get that chance. Yo, HC, that's a great idea. We gotta support our Wizzies. So this mushroom should die, but it's not dying. So I don't think I set up the kill mushroom. I only set up the kill fireflies. DJ EJ, I want to say 0.2 ETH. I think it might be higher. See if I can find it. So not to be confused with Wizzy the Blue, which is a different asset. So it's Wizzy the Blue Hat. And I haven't received mine yet. Oh, it's 0.35 is the floor at the moment. Here is the link, if you'd like to look. But yeah, that's it's a pretty big chunk of change. And they've been giving away one every single stream. So it's wild to attend the Sandbox streams. And luckily, you know, your boy here got one in a giveaway. And then Maxi just won one yesterday. Oh man, that's a heart dropper, Maxi. But congratulations, that's awesome. I'm glad someone, yeah, that we know wins. And that is always exciting when it's someone like you talk to on a regular basis. And of course, there's nothing wrong with lurking, but it's like we don't really know the lurkers. We don't see them often. So big congrats. So yeah, this void, we want to make sure it's invisible. So we don't want to see it. It's only destroying the fireflies. The fireflies themselves are spawning in a weird spot, so we want to move that. And then the last thing we wanted was to ensure that this TNT was also receiving that timer. So this is our broadcaster that was specifically for our fireflies. And this was also part of our timer. And so we didn't finish it. Basically, after, we'll say 3 seconds, simply for testing. But this will turn into 30 seconds, so we're making a mental note here. Saying it out loud always helps. But after 3 seconds, it's going to send that same message that kills our TNT. TNT.die. So if we just review our TNT mushroom, we can go into the edit logic and we can look down and we'll see that it has the instant death message, TNT.die. We'll give it a death delay because as we saw, it was kind of like not exploding as an animation. And so maybe this will give a cool animated explosion. So we pick it up. After 3 seconds, it should destroy itself. Boom. So that's how that worked. So every time we pick it up, we basically have a limited amount of time to run it to where somewhere it can be used. What I would love is if it had some sort of like explosion. Does anybody have ideas for that? There's not really any assets other than fireflies that I've been able to find, I suppose. At least in Touche's collection. Like he doesn't have, you know, like a animated fire. But, I mean, what we have set up is better than nothing, so. Ooh. Maxi with the health component. We can explore that. But yeah, Little Legion, I like your idea. Stacking them. And then they all kind of explode together. That is definitely something we could play with. Because I think that is what we were looking for. So let's see what we can do. So we'll do TNT... number pad. I want to name these something specific. So we'll do explosion number pad 1. And that way it's easier to find. But yeah, and like Maxi said, having that health component means it's kind of like dying, it's blowing up. Ooh, Little Legion, would you like to explain? I would love to learn more about shaping the explosion. We're going to make it reset because it's going to be attached to our TNT mushroom here. And so when the TNT mushroom dies, these exploding number pads also die. So I think we can set this back to -2. because that just makes it instant. And if you use the plant tag, it just disappears. Interesting, Maxi. Okay. And yeah, the health is what causes the explosion. It's kind of funny. Everything dies via explosion in Sandbox. Sorry, that was breakfast. I just consumed my breakfast. Oh, I see what you're saying, Little Legion. And yes. So we're going to make a pentagram. Just kidding. We're going to make a demonic portal. Welcome to my stream, everyone, where we're performing rituals. But yeah, great idea, Little Legion. Maxi, I've noticed you've done some great work recently. I loved your Phoenix donkey. I thought that was such a cool concept, and then the execution was perfect. So well done, Maxi. So before we duplicate them all, we need to ensure that these are kind of working as intended. So we want the exploding number pad to be attached. We're going to make them invisible, no collisions. But we need these to die on the same message. So TNT.die. We'll hide the health bar. Yeah, the funky. Maxi, you are more than welcome to share a link if you'd like. So right now it's not exploding as intended. So I think what we need to do is have this on a longer timer than the number pad. I'll also remove the invisibility. So if we have this at 1 second, just for testing, we're going to put this one at 2 seconds. Oh, okay, Instagram. Maxi, I would love to ask you, what's your opinion on Instagram? And especially as a content creator in the Sandbox specifically, if you think Instagram is the way to go. Nice fonky. That's a nice looking fonky. So we might need to relay it, says Little Legion. I think you might be right. Let's see if this works. Yeah. So options. We need these to be connected. So they reset when they die. We also want them to be connected to the TNT mushroom itself. So I think we just need to stagger the death in a way. I also think I was missing the send to tags. So for example, my TNT.die tag here, it was sending to the TNT tag. However, my number pad did not have it yet. The fix might have been as simple as that. So it did die, but it didn't explode. So I think I am missing something. In terms of like making it explode. So we want this TNT to explode. So what was causing those explosions before? Because they're not exploding now. Oh yeah, DJ AJ, I saw you tweeted about this. You're a Valentine's heart bot. I'll just show everybody real quick. Very cool, dude. Why is your name Sexy Glitch? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, DJ. Alright, don't spawn or spam, but you're always welcome to share your stuff here. But yeah, the TNT, it is currently working as intended. However, it's not exploding. We wanted it to explode. Maybe it needs to have a visible life bar? Oh, it's your Dota 2 name. I gotcha. Well, obviously we don't want this health bar. Perhaps it was a different component, such as the indicator with VFX. You were using Deadlord from your name for like 10 years. I mean, Sexy Glitch elicits a certain response when you say the word, when you read it. Honestly, branding is everything when it comes to marketing. So, if you're, you know, your name is Sexy Glitch, what would I think as a customer? What would I think you're selling? So that's something to consider. You might change it. I think you can commit to it if you think if you like the name. You just gotta keep in mind the branding and how you would present your brand. So yeah, this number pad, it's not exploding. So we want to kind of find out why. Is anyone familiar with and Little Legion? I would love your help if you can help me troubleshoot. But it's kind of fun to figure out why it's not doing that, you know. Because we have the health component. Maxie spent an hour making a new sword earlier. Oh, it broke the equip template. Interesting. Well, Maxie, that being said, I know, as an example, some weapons are able to surpass that. So maybe asking Voxel Blaze himself, you know, next time he streams, like, he might be able to tell you why that happens. Because this is definitely longer, you know? You think the TNT still dies before the parent? I did confirm that this has a delay of 2, whereas the number pad itself I changed to 1. And we can as it will die second. And neither of them actually explodes. So, even if just the mushroom exploded, that would be fantastic. Perhaps it needed one of these. So let's say it was a melee enemy. Mushroom will attack me. Can it attack me while I'm holding it? Nope. It was set to reset. So resetting might actually be the problem. And that's great troubleshooting, Little Legion. Thank you. It might be because instead of respawn to tag. So if it were on respawn to tag rather than reset, so the tag to respawn will be tnt.respawn. And we can use this here as our TNT.respawn. Right out of the box. No explosion. Also, my number pad disconnected from it. So that's a bummer. But yeah, resetting is almost essential for this mechanic. So I'm very curious as to why this is dying, but not exploding. Bum bum bum. It's an interesting experiment to attach to a resetting asset. Yeah, I agree. And Maxi, you have a long handle there. I think you can extend the blade part and then move it back. Oh! You know what, Maxi? That does make a lot of sense. And yeah, HC is right. Panda has a lot of expertise in that regard, too. Well, at least now we know, Maxi, and I'll make sure to spread that word. No grip. Don't edit the grip. Only the sword. But yeah, Little Legion, thank you for helping. I don't need an explosion. I like the explosion. So, I think we have to keep it at reset. We're going to remove the melee enemy. I don't think there was any behaviors that helped. Wonder if there's an animated. Yeah, we can try that, Little Legion. Can we make a regular unattached number pad explode? So the one thing that was always like a giveaway was I was using them as timers, and as timers with health component, they should be, you know, like dying. Like you can see them die. And it's great because as a timer, it's a cool visual effect. So we're gonna make this die on a button click. So this first number pad will be a button to destroy the other one. And we'll see if that works. Because we're just testing things right now. Button. We'll do TNT.test. It doesn't need that. We can actually move this too. But this one, we wanted the message event to be destroy. So I think this is why. And I may or may not be wrong, but I think Little Legion, the destroy death event specifically. So not reset, not respawn. Like that's going to be the explosion. And this is just me kind of being a prophet. You know, I just foresee. I know I am a pro. Just kidding. Its death message will be the TNT.test. We'll give it a small death timer. It'll be hidden. This will probably demonstrate it. Yep. We saw it explode. So what that means is having a timer on the TNT mushrooms, you know, basically making it auto destroy and then reset itself. We need to either have additional timers or additional ways to make assets that destroy themselves. Make the exploding number pad pickable and see if it still works. Okay. So the exploding one, First thing I'll do is go into the health and make sure it doesn't explode after 1 second. We'll do 5 seconds. And we'll give it pickable. See if it explodes in our hands. That'd be cool if it kind of damaged us too. I think I clicked it. Yeah, it still explodes if you're holding it. Dexplosive? Not gonna lie, DJJ, that's a cool name. I would never lie to you. Unless I was telling the truth. I've already lied to you. And, yeah, Little Legion, what about making the unattached number pad reset to tag? So, hear me out. We make these attached number pads asset spawners that create something like fireflies that then explode. And by explode, we mean destroy. So destroy is the key word here. And I think that is the solution because we already discovered that destroy was the problem. So we want there to be... Yeah, no presets is kind of a bummer. I'm going to save because the game is getting laggy. And you know what that means. Yeah, you might be right. I'm still going to take a look here. So we want there to be fireflies. So I think anything that dies is defaulted to destroy. Yeah, incoming crash, Little Legion, for sure. But yeah, I think these are going to have the default destroy kind of behavior to their health. So they do need health. That is a bit of a conundrum because anything that spawns is going to have a name on it. So these fireflies, for example, when they spawn, they're going to say small fireflies. And when they destroy themselves, it'll say... So that's kind of a bummer. Lanny_F, how are you today? Welcome. Lanny or Lonnie. I have never tried Blancos. And to compare them, I think I have to add that to my list. I want to make sure that I try Blancos soon. If I'm correct, that's like a party game, isn't it? I've tried Blancos, it's cool. Well, Sandbox is pretty cool. I don't know if you can tell. But right now we're kind of playing with the mechanics of Game Maker. So in the Sandbox, you can make your own game and then publish it onto a 1x1 piece of land. And so this entire map here is a 1x1. And you can, see the edge of it. A party game? Blancos is not anything like. Let me Google search it. Yeah, Blancos Block Party is a NFT Trojan horse. I did not know that. I don't know why they're calling it a Trojan horse. Looks interesting. Here, I'll just pull this up so you can see what I'm looking at. So it's like the same idea of NFTs in the blockchain being playable. So does it have like a game making side to it? That would be my big question. Because I think that's what sets Sandbox apart from a lot of these other metaverses, is that you can create like game mechanics using their software. I know, for example, the other metaverse, I can't even think of the name of it right now. The 3D looking one. Decentraland. You can, build things, but mechanics is something that I think Sandbox is excelling at. And by mechanics, we mean like I go into my game, I can go and pick up this mushroom, for example. And like after 10 seconds, it explodes. So that's what I would say is mechanic. V just got back, just sent off my kid to school. Well, welcome back. I hope you have a fantastic day, V, as well as your kid. I decided that I want to be a stay-at-home dad one day. I don't know. Being a part of, a child's life, like helping raise a child. Oh man. I hope everyone gets to experience it, but it's not for everyone. People are making thousands of dollars on Blancos. Thousands. Well, what if I told you in Sandbox we were making millions? JK. Lonnie, I'll tell you now, two of us here in the stream, myself, Halfd0rk, and Maxi, we both won an NFT just by participating in Sandbox events. And that NFT itself, do I still have it pasted? This one here is was given out. So humble brag there. But yeah, again, the problem that we are having today, this is our current problem, is this TNT is exploding, but it's not doing it the way we want to. So I think we have to avoid that. Yeah, a little flex. DJ EJ calling me out. Do you know most of them? Lonnie, if you're looking to grow as a content creator, the Sandbox is a very supportive community. So I know that having viewers is essential to growth, but keep in mind that you're talking with people that love and play in the Sandbox. And so we want to support, other people that, enjoy the same metaverse as us. So if you're there, just for views, just for numbers, like I understand, it's part of the grind. But just keep in mind, like, we're slowly building this community in the Sandbox. And we want to support, people that play with us. And so my goal, my mission will be to help teach and encourage new creators. Exactly, dude. We're fam. And so V, are you a Vox edit? Is that like your speciality? Thanks, Little Legion. Little Legion, you know a lot too. Do you ever consider streaming, Little Legion? Like, I can tell you have a wealth of knowledge yourself. Camera shy. Totally understand that. It's an obstacle that you can kind of circumnavigate. So let's say, for example, VTubing is what Game Dizzy does. And I've tried VTubing. It's actually very fun once you kind of like delve into it. It's like, oh, I can add animations. Oh, I can put visual effects on my avatar. And I would recommend that. I can also recommend you can animate like a 2D picture. Let's say your profile picture. You can make it light up whenever you start talking. And that's another solution. So, being camera shy, nothing wrong with that. Hey, Chero177, welcome. What other games do I play? I personally play a lot of League of Legends. Demi for real, welcome. How's your day going? Demi, will you be streaming today? Demi for real is another streamer in the Sandbox community. Just to try it. V, I highly recommend it. And this is what I will tell anyone interested in streaming the Sandbox or, any game making or asset creation software like VoxEdit. streaming is a great way to find live feedback. So for example, today we were trying to discover, ways to make this mushroom explode, and I was able to interact with you all and try and discover it. And so I'm not saying you're always going to have people to give you feedback, but it can be a way to receive encouragement, advice, and putting yourself out there is a skill set in itself. You're performing in a way. Oh, nice, Demi, for real. I hope your stream goes well. I'll be streaming for about an hour, but if you're still live, I'd love to, come over there, support you too. So, thanks, man. Ooh, V, was it difficult to try and set up a VTuber? Okay, asset spawner. The problem that we came to is that the assets that are spawning, the fireflies, they unfortunately have a name on them if we give them health. So I'll just run you through the problem that I already foresee. I don't think we can avoid it, but the message that spawns these fireflies is going to be the timer. And so when they receive that timer, they're going to spawn. We'll give them a tag. They'll be TNT. And we had a message broadcaster. This void, actually. Interesting enough is I could... Ooh. I'm just going to hop in and see if it does what I'm thinking it'll do. Yeah, I'm not a fan. So a couple things you note is it's spawning with health bars. And that's the main problem. That's the main reason we can't use this, is because every time, these fireflies spawn, they're going to have a name on them. When they explode. Yeah, you see? It had like explosion, number pad 1. So we don't want that. Yeah, Little Legion, let me walk you through what I'm thinking. Long story short, this void here, we're gonna make it 10, 10, 10. And so this is gonna kill any fireflies that spawn, period. Just in the area. And so every time the timer goes off, or starts, I should say, it's going to spawn small fireflies. Oh, it's anime style? Well, V, I hope, you give it a shot. I think you would be a great streamer. I think all of you could be a great streamer. It just takes time, effort, discipline of making, a schedule. But just turning on a stream, getting started, that's the first step. And if it's something you want to do, I hope you try it. It's not for everyone. Don't feel like you have to stream. Personally, I do it as a way to kind of challenge myself, and maybe that can be something that helps you stream too, as it's a challenge. It's something that you want to do to grow, not just as a content creator, but as a person. We're all persons here, except Dorkbot. He's a bot. Okay, so we're spawning fireflies. They are spawning every time this message goes out. They all have a health component, and they all have the tag TNT. So, the message that is currently spawning everything is this woman, Mary, as soon as we get close, basically within range to pick up the mushroom, it's sending out that particular timer. So it's starting that timer. The condition is detect entity. So when it detects us, aka the avatar, it's sending out the TNT.timer. When the TNT timer goes out, we have a couple things that happen. We have a broadcaster that when TNT.timer is received, it's going to delay. We'll change it to 4 seconds for testing. After 4 seconds, it's sending out this message. TNT.timer2. So I want TNT.timer2 to be what destroys anything with the TNT tag. So that's what the void is for. So this void, which is a behavior that destroys assets, it can even destroy blocks. When TNT.timer is received, it is destroying only the fireflies in the area. So that's what we have set up right now. However, don't think these fireflies are exploding. Okay, they exploded there. And I think I crashed it. Like you can see, the mushroom is currently off the map. And what happened was, as soon as I spawned in, I ran up and grabbed it without her talking to me. So that's what happened. But I think we saw one explosion from... Yeah, I crashed it. Frick. Freaking frack. So I just give it a second. Oh no. So, what would you do if you were in my situation? I broke it. At least we saved it relatively recently, but yeah, we actually crashed it. That's funny. Well, just know that saving your work is essential. It's part of the process. You have to know that this is not even alpha. Like, this isn't open beta. These things happen. How can you make a video trailer? DJ EJ, the best way I recommend is using Light Tracer. You can start with a free trial and play around with the animation there. There's also, a video editing software. I can recommend a couple. There are some free ones out there. But Light Tracer is a good place to start because you can put your Vox assets into Light Tracer and then animate them, or at least animate the camera that kind of like circles them or kind of like zooms in and out. And Little Legion, you think that's the solution too? That's only because we really want that exploding effect. And yeah, you're saying the fireflies exploding killed the non-attached void is better? You think the void is better. How did you make it? Thank you for asking. I made my trailer using a platform behavior. So every one of my shots, I was using a platform, aka, like a rug asset. I would stand on it in first person, and the platform would move. And so I realized that as, a videographer, which was one of my jobs when I was living in LA for about 3 years. I was a freelance videographer. And so you pick up these camera skills. And so it's more or less like putting digital photography and videography into 3D space and using those same, like ideas, concepts. So the way it's called is you can use like pans. So a pan is like when you're going left to right, or you can like have tilts going up and down. Another word for that is like a pedestal. So when you're pedestaling up and down. And yeah, exactly. It's like a camera on rails, Little Legion said. And so that's something I might, help people learn, because it's not something that many think about right out of the gate. But thank you for asking. And so, Little Legion, you like our void behavior here. I did lose a bit of work from where we left off. I think we'll do... Ooh, 100? Oh, you can't even do 100. 99? Can't even do 99. Really? What's the highest number? Is 10 the highest number? For a void? That's interesting. I would have never guessed. That means I'll probably make more of these. I wonder if it'll lag things. Yeah, DJ EJ, let me know how that goes. I attempted to rotate using the bird behavior. That didn't work well. But yeah, let me know if you can figure that one out. A really steady hands. Maybe that's what I'll tell people, Little Legion. Great, so asset spawner. Yeah, I didn't really save much of anything here. Bummer. What's this one? This is our fireflies. So the fireflies have the TNT tag. Oh, nice video and keeping on looking camera settings. Yep. Platform is a fantastic solution. I hope it works well for you and you make this super cool animation. I too submitted for that and I did it simple. They, more or less, this is me kind of like overthinking things, but the contest itself, they said random. You know, like they were going to pick a winner. So obviously I wanted to spend more time on the game rather than that Valentine's event. So what my suggestion then is don't spend too much time on it. Because at the end of the day, they're picking them at random, so. Of course, you got it, V. I'm here to help. Little Legion, why not use a regular message to kill the fireflies instead of void? Because of the asset spawner. So as we look at the asset spawner behavior, there's no way to set, you know, the health component. So we do need to make sure that's there. Oops. There's no way to kill this specifically. So we have to go about it a roundabout way. And that's using the void behavior. And this actually doesn't need a tag, but we're going to keep the tag anyway. But yeah, that's why we have to use it this particular way. I want to say there's another way with to kill an asset with a specific tag. And I actually did this not too long ago with the gliders, which I moved all my buttons, my number pads over here. So we're just kind of looking at how my glider was working. It had this tag of glider.ff. So, oh, here it is. So this is, I think, the solution that we should look at as a potential kind of like alternate void. It's sending out kill to everything with the glider.ff.spawn tag. So this might actually be our new solution instead of the void. And yeah, Little Legion, we literally came to the same conclusion. Send kill to tags in range. Yep. So that's what I was using before. And so I was more or less trying to find, you know, a new one. So, and we can even use this here. So instead of having TNT.timer2, which was specifically for our void asset, we can go into the broadcaster and we can send out that kill command. So it's just kill. Just kill. So this is like a default, like, kill anything command. But it is being sent specific tags in range. We want it to be pretty big range, but the tag will be TNT.fireflies. And so we just need to confirm with our asset spawner here that that is the tag we're using. The TNT.fireflies. So, yeah, Little Legion, I think I was just trying to discover a new solution. But this is our current solution. Oh no, did it crash again? Okay. That's interesting. I don't know why it's like not destroying this. We'll save, just in case. So everyone joining us, we'll be streaming about 45 minutes more. But please do ask questions as they come up. I love to help you as a game designer, and it helps me to kind of interpretate my own knowledge because I can understand it in a different fashion. And the more ways we communicate and the more ways we understand concepts, like the more the sandbox will grow. So I'll to test this once more, see what it does. So it's supposed to be spawning fireflies here, and it's not doing them very fast. So I think I need to set a timer to where we can, you know, visualize it more. We also don't want that to have a health bar because we don't want to see it. Hey, thanks, Little Legion. So this is our current explosion. So this one we wanted to have the TNT.fireflies, and it's not even a firefly. It's actually just our effect, and this is something Little Legion suggested, where it's just something that kind of explodes, and we can even put it in like a cool shape. So the health, we actually don't need much of this except for reset. We'll put this at 2 just in case. But yeah, it's our fireflies spawning. That's what we're trying to set up here. They all have TNT.fireflies as the tag. Perfect. They have health. Perfect. We don't want our asset spawner itself to be visible. Resets don't work. Oh, the delay between spawns. That's what visualizing problem was. Well, we're spending so much time trying to make this work, which it's nice, but it's not essential. Oh, this is another problem here. It had a 30-second timer or delay. We're gonna bump up the detection range here. So we're not getting any explosions, which is kind of a bummer. There's an explosion. We just got one explosion. Literally all I'm looking for. Yeah, Little Legion, a lot of space. I have this kind of conundrum where it's like negative space. I look at it and it's like, that's work. You know, like, I have to fill this. But less is more. One thing that I saw Ilmeads do, and I highly recommend you check out Ilmeads' stream, is he was tapering the island itself. So it's like you wouldn't even see this edge. Instead, he went for like a round kind of like island. And I think that helps with negative space. It's like you're basically, you know, cutting out a new outline rather than that one by one giant block. Oh, this is our spawner. Our spawner was not attached. That was probably because of our crash. So again, this explosion happens when TNT.die is received. We want it to destroy, because destroy is the explosion. So having any of this doesn't really do anything. So instead, I'm just going to delete this, simply because it's our fireflies that are doing the exploding. So there should be spawning fireflies here. See, there they are. But they weren't spawning at a good, like, interval. So I think it was because of this. We just didn't give our TNT enough time. So the spawners were receiving the TNT.timer. Oh, I see. We want it to be more than one. Yeah, we wanted it to be more frequent. Exactly, Little Legion. Hey, good morning, Chelios. How are you today? We're currently trying to make our exploding mushroom visually explode. So we got the mechanics of it, you know, working yesterday as to where it would destroy a wall, for example, in a cave. So now we want it to visually explode. And to do that, we're adding an asset spawner that has fireflies that spawn. So there's these little yellow things float around. And then on timers, they kind of explode. And so we want those to be more often. So how can we go about that? There's multiple ways. We can have it spawn, and this is actually what I did with my glider. We can do TNT.timer2. And so every time TNT.timer2 is received, it's going to spawn a firefly. And all of these fireflies are going to be killed by this message broadcaster every 1 second. Or I'm sorry, every time this message is received. We'll also change it to TNT.timer2. So anytime a timer goes out, it's basically sending out this kill command. So the next thing we're going to set up is... Okay, so let me point out what this one is. This one is our TNT mushroom timer. So after 10 seconds of receiving the very first timer, it's sending out TNT.die, which kills our mushroom, which is important. We want that. We want to keep that one. We're going to make a new one specifically for our fireflies. So this is going to reset the first time TNT timer is received. It will send out a new message, TNT.timer2. And we want it to be received by our asset spawner, which I believe has that same tag. It does not. So now we want to make sure this has the TNT tag. It should spawn at least 2 fireflies after we approach. Yep. And then these fireflies should explode. after 10 seconds. Eventually. So the fireflies themselves aren't exploding until we approach her again. So that's the next thing we're fixing. So we want there to be almost like a loop. But I'm sure you can see the current situation. So this tag is TNT.fireflies. It's receiving the kill command, but only when these timers go off. So we need another timer, just so we can like loop timers 2 and 3 together. And yeah, we want to chain it. We want to domino effect it. Exactly, Chilios. Is there a way to start another timer after a death event? So I think that's what this solution will be. Is we're going to make a third number pad. And it's very good to have naming conventions. Right now I'm going to keep it as number pad 2 and number pad 3. But to take it one step further, we can do timer 2. And that way at first glance, when I open up my hierarchy and I search TNT, like I can immediately click these and be like, oh, okay, this was my tag timer 2 and timer 3. So this one is TNT.timer 2. So when that message is received, it's going to send out TNT timer 3. And we want that tag to be received by our message broadcaster. So this one also needs the TNT tag. Let's just see what happens. Chelios, are you a programmer? I thought you were more graphic design. I can't say I'm well versed in programming. I've done some simple front end stuff. Programming makes my head hurt. Okay, the fireflies are not dying until we pick them up again. So now they die. So basically every time we approach her, it's sending out the kill command, which is not what we want. We wanted the kill command to go off regularly at several intervals. Oh, and you went to school for it originally. Well, it's a good skill set to have in today's world. So awesome. And it probably helps you, understand these concepts a lot quicker than most. Me, on the other hand, I'm trying to make something explode and I'm struggling. So we're trying to send off these timers here. We're waiting for this broadcast. And it's going to send off after any of these. What happens if I turn off that timer? So we're still spawning fireflies, still spawning fireflies. So these fireflies aren't receiving any kill commands. Because we removed it. However, that one went off. Hey, no pro, but enough to get by. Exactly. That's all you need. One thing I used to live by was fake it till you make it. And that's what a lot of folks who, apply to jobs, that's kind of what they do. It's like, oh, I don't have 5 years of experience, but, like you make a bluff, for example, on your resume. And then you're at the job, you're getting trained. You're there. And as long as you're able to pick it up and run with it, that's all they really wanted, right? So yeah, this timer isn't exactly going off, and I think I know why. There's no tag. So if you all recall, my preferred timer component is the health. However, with health components, you always need to have a tag on the recipient. So I'm sending out tags, but I need to make sure everything that's communicating has a tag. Yeah, that honestly, that it might have been as simple as that. Let's go back to my message broadcaster here and make sure it also has the normal timer. So this is essentially spawning and killing fireflies second-ish. Boom. Great. And so then we just want to put this on a 30-second interval because we don't need fireflies to be spawning, you know, often. Yeah, so many friends from college. Understandable, dude. Like, I have several friends that, and this is a smart move, I'm not even gonna lie, that as soon as they graduated, they applied to, you know, 10 things. And of course, you know, being a fresh college graduate, like, finding a job is like the next step, but nobody wants to take on a rookie. But let's just say you score 1 out of 10 of those as an interview. You just need to go all in and be like, you know, hey, be honest or bluff. You can literally do one or the other, but bluffing seems to work a lot better. And sometimes, you know, just lying gets your foot in the door. It's not always lying, it's just colorful exaggeration. Colorful exaggeration. Like me, for example, I'm a top 500 game developer in the Sandbox. And there's like 500 game developers total. Yeah, so these fireflies work well. The main problem that we have is that when they die, you can see their health bar. So just we run up, grab a mushroom. Oh, cool, it doesn't have a health bar. That's actually fantastic. Redeem, save work. Oh, V, my hero. We've already got 1 crash today, too. Chelios, yeah, that's important to note. First year is essentially training, and that can be said about many jobs. It's a risk when, you know, you're, let's just say, the CEO or the executives of a company. It's like, oh, we have to pay $50K to get this person up to speed, and then what if they leave, you know? Chelios, I'll settle for top 500. I can't, you know, market myself until I have those credentials. And so part of the reason why I'm doing this Fungi Game Jam and aiming for at least the top 10, like I am trying my hardest to at least get top 10. Obviously you want to go 1, 2, 3, but when you put yourself in the top 10, that's when you can open up more doors. You can start pitching yourself to more projects. You can say, hey, I am, you know, a top 10 winner in the Game Jam. Yeah, Little Legion, exactly, dude. It's, you know, you gotta prove your worth. Proof of skill. Proof of purchase. So this is actually coming together. Now that we have the essentials in place, our TNT mushroom, we can have it spawn fireflies at intervals, or we can have it spawn multiples at the end, so when it explodes. And so that's what I want to explore. is the explosion mechanic at the time of death. So when you bring these fireflies or this mushroom to a rock wall, we want it to explode, and we want it to be visual. We also want it to explode when the timer runs out. So what we've been setting up right now is when the timer runs out. So instead of having all of these fireflies spawn on interval, we're going to have 2. We're going to have 2 fireflies spawn total when you pick this up. Right now I have 3 timers, and we'll come back to that. So we're going to take a look at all of our various number pads here. We're going to have it at 10 seconds right now, just so we can, bug test a little bit more efficiently. So this is going to be called number pad 1, and it sends out TNT.die. So I'm actually going to put that in the name. So again, there's no real reason not to name your assets, especially as you're editing them. It'll only help you in organization. Thank you, Chelios. And you too. I see so many faces here, and I can see the progress that we're all making together. And so, Chelios, I'm excited for all of our futures. So this is timer 2. This timer resets every time the woman here speaks her detect entity message. It's going to die. And when it dies, it's basically starting the TNT.timer 2. And that is this one. So TNT.timer 2, we can name this to be TNT.timer 2-3. So that what that tells me at first glance, let's just say I'm in the hierarchy. I can look and I can be like, oh, this number pad has TNT.die. Oh, this number pad has TNT.timer 2-3. DJ EJ, have a fantastic day. Namaste, my friend. Have a fantastic day. Or evening. Taking Chrome with it. Oh no, Little Legion. We all have to save our work on a timer here. Every 10 minutes. Huh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I've lost an hour of work before. That was a bad feeling. We'll be streaming less than 30 minutes to go. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We might do a giveaway at the end. I think a creator coin is in order. Luckily about 2 minutes. That's not bad at all. That's what we call winning.
You make a choice to win, and you win. I'm sorry, winning.
So for those of you unaware of what creator coins do, is you can recommend a meme. Let's just say your favorite meme is happy accidents.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
So if you have a creator coin, you can tell me what meme you'd like to see in my stream. Hey, Go West! How are you? Welcome back. So I'm curious what you guys have for meme comedy. What's your favorite meme? Chelios messed up the first day. First time I did it. Save work before you close. Oh no, you did it backwards. Oh, Chelios, I'm sorry, dude. Oh, that's rough. I can see how that could happen. Ooh. A lot of times you get in this rhythm too. Oh, fantastic, Go West. Thanks for chatting us up. Returning with the highs, the woot woots. But yeah, this timer, that's what we're working on. TNT.timer, TNT.timer2. We're going to have it spawn 2 different times. So these fireflies, we want to spawn on timer 1, so the first time we pick it up, and when timer 3 goes off. So we actually removed that additional timer because we didn't need it. So these fireflies, one will be left behind when the timer goes off, or when the timer starts, and that's a good visual cue for a player. There will also be a third timer, or, you know, timer.tnt.timer3. This one spawns when the mushroom's about to explode. And that's essential because it's going to create that explosion effect, which is basically what we wanted. We'll just make sure there's a delay here. We'll keep it at 1. Should be fine. So, with both of those set up, we have one that spawns immediately and then one that spawns after 10 seconds. So that's going to be this one here. It's sending out timer 2 to TNT after, we'll say 9 seconds. It sends out timer 2, which will be received by this one. And then I put 9 seconds because for timing, we'll add 1, and that will be a total of 10 seconds. So we saw those fireflies there. So after 10 seconds, it killed them. Okay. So these fireflies here, they're not dying fast enough. So there was like a short delay there. So we don't need message TNT.timer2. We do. And yes, thank you guys for lurking. A good way to come back and return would be using the lurk command. And, you know, I'll just say hi, you know, welcome back, etc. But it's a good way to set things up. Kind of funny how it put -1 when I did it. I guess I can't lurk on myself. Yeah, why is it doing -1? Oh, I guess... What? That's so weird. Yeah, it's like forgetting how to do math. It's using a specific set of code that I found online. So it's like registering that you specifically, you as a user, is lurking and adding it to this kind of number of total lurkers. Huh. Oh, so lurkers HC, that just means that you're, you know, watching and you might not be in a chatty mood, and that's completely okay. In fact, I greatly appreciate it. But the command basically says, hey, I'm watching. And it kind of adds you to this, you know, number of like watchers. So lurking is just a synonym for watching. And thank you, Sparky Snickle. Previously lurking, yeah, it could have been. I need to reset the counter every stream, and I have forgotten to do that in the past. Yeah, HC, it could be used for metrics. I personally use it as a way to appreciate, you know, people that don't necessarily talk. And so it's a way for them to be like, hey, I'm here, you know? And Sparky, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sparky Snickle. Go West, it had remembered we were lurking from the stream before. Exactly. I hadn't reset it. And so that's something I just need to do at the start of every stream. Okay. So the timer goes off 10 seconds. Let's see what happens if I adjust this to be 7. Time better. And so instead of a flat 10 seconds, it's kind of like got this short delay in the spawn. And so it wasn't aligning with the kill command. There it goes. However, we want to time that to where the mushroom as well as the fireflies both are destroyed at the same time. So it gives that effect of, it exploding. So let's try 8 seconds. These are extra kind of like flavor things you can do for your game. And it was a good example of, how the messages interact with one another. So we got fireflies that spawned. But because of the timing, they didn't, explode correctly. But 7 seconds worked pretty well. Ghost of Mars, I appreciate the lurking, so thank you. And yeah, one thing I do with Sandbox streams is I'm usually working, and so chatting isn't something I do frequently. And I don't think anyone ever takes it personal. Like other streamers, if you're hanging out in their stream and you don't really chat, you just say hi, like they understand too. So it's like if you're in someone's stream, they'll understand. And in fact, I want to tell you, lurkers, and you don't even have to respond to this, that I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out, watching, enjoying the content. If you ever have questions, especially when it comes to game making and maybe something I can help you troubleshoot, feel free to ask. But these streams are, optional. You don't need to interact with me in order to get the most out of it. Again, so here's our problem. The TNT timer goes off. We want it to kill the fireflies. That spawn, but we want them to kill on a specific timer so it looks like the mushroom's exploding. We have 2 timers that kind of go off. We have the first timer that occurs when we talk to Mary or we get close to Mary. She'll be like, oh, these mushrooms explode, be careful. And so that message is sent out and then received, and it causes this relay effect. The second timer here has its own delay. We'll try 2. See how that works. And so when timer 3 goes out, it's sent to this tag, TNT, which should be this here. See at the bottom we have TNT tag. And that's going to spawn another set of fireflies. These fireflies have TNT.fireflies as their tag. And that's what our kill command, this broadcaster here. I might start using a different asset for broadcasters specifically. One thing we can do is, instead of having it wait for the timer, we can try and just have it kill any TNT fireflies as soon as they spawn. I wonder how this will work. And yeah, thank you, Chelios. I appreciate it. And yeah, Go West too. Whenever Go West streams, he's a new up-and-coming streamer in the Sandbox. Like, just dropping in, saying hi, or just dropping in is a great way to support them. So this actually might be the solution we go for, is the message broadcaster. As soon as fireflies spawn, it's killing them.
I'm sorry, winning.
That's cool. I like that. Yo, Mr. Winning himself. How are you? Good day. Early morning for you, my friend. Alright, so I think I have enough time to run a mushroom all the way to that door. This is what we set up yesterday. So let's see what happens when we bring it. It's going to destroy the door, and then it destroys the mushroom after a second. He slept in! Well, it's still what, like, not even 7? So it's still early by, our standards. But either way, good morning to you. Get some coffee. Oh, you celebrated your Super Bowl? Fam and sugar. Heck yes, dude. And now it's Valentine's. Waking up after dawn feels late. That's good, dude. It's, that's a good habit. Like, that is a good problem to have. It's like, I gotta be up by dawn. Gotta start the day right. I've always been like a night owl by nature, but I've realized when I wake up early, I get more accomplished. Gotta go to the store. Mr. Winning, please accomplish the Valentine's mission. That is your current quest. It is hard to manage, for sure. I've been napping lately too, because I try to wake up early for the stream. Okay, so this destroying of the wall. So this is the new problem that we've decided is, you know, next in our chain of command. When we pick up a mushroom, we want it to spawn fireflies as soon as we approach this door. And I think that's actually going to be a simple solution. We can go to our spawner here, and we can add a new message required to make it spawn. And we can do it TNT.drop, or no, it was cave.drop. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and make a new command. So we had TNT.explode. Oh no. TNT explode. My keyboard, or it's the software, just doesn't want to register every time I click a key on my keyboard. But we want TNT explode to be our new command, other than like cave drop and stuff. Because cave.drop is kind of vague. So we're going to be using a new command. So for example, this void here is destroying the boulders that fall. And in fact, when a boulder falls, we don't even need it to destroy. So I'm actually going to remove that void, because we want to keep the boulders that fall, but we only want one boulder to fall. And so it's only going to occur once. So TNT.explode will be used for every explosion in our, you know, cave, our dungeon. But this rock here will only fall once. So that's what this timer will be for, and we're just repurposing an old timer we're using for our void. So it's going to be TNT.explode 1. Every time, dude, it's forgetting to register my L's. TNT.explode 1, and we're going to be sending it to whatever this is tagged. So this is currently tagged nothing. So this will be cave rock. And so it has the correct message required. It's going to have gravity. And so the last thing we needed to add was in this health component of our timer, cave.rock. And yeah, keyboard stickiness, I think it is because of my mechanical keyboard. I actually ordered a new one. Fun fact, if you go to your settings, controls, there are certain commands here that I am unable to use because I don't have an insert key on my keyboard. And funner fact is I ordered a new keyboard and I didn't even check to see if it had this key, and it doesn't. It does not have the insert key. So I literally ordered a new keyboard because I needed, you know, those extra keys, and then I got the keyboard and it doesn't have the key I needed. Yeah, I have a short keyboard. I can't really hold it up. It's all intertwined in cables. But, you know, these things happen, and I'm still going to use the keyboard. Apparently, and this is something I'll have to test, is that if you have a number pad, you know, on the right side of your keyboard, the 0 key also acts as an insert. So if you don't have an insert button, that's supposed to be like an alternative. So we'll see if it works. I haven't even plugged it in yet. It used to, you're right. So yeah, I'll test that and I'll let you guys know. Okay, so when this is discovered, we want it to send out a message that destroys our TNT, but we only want it to do it once, because we only want this door and our TNT to be destroyed one time. This specific door, one time. So it's going to do TNT explode. And we already set up outside that we have fireflies that will spawn on 3 different occasions. So the first 2 occasions were our timers. One timer when we first pick it up, the second timer when 10 seconds go by, basically when the bomb itself, the explosion, is supposed to go off. And then the third time will be whenever an exploding message is received. So first thing we'll see is one firefly that just instantly spawns and explodes. We'll bring it to this door. It's going to not destroy the TNT. So that's something we need to fix. And it didn't destroy the door either, because we changed cave.drop, if you recall. So this door probably still has cave.drop. This here. Yep. Instant death message. So the instant death message will be TNT.explode 1. We want to hide it. We don't want any new messages. This was something I was doing for testing, but we're just going to remove these because we're focused on this right now. So we want there to be another chain of command that destroys our mushroom. And that was TNT.die. So what's going to happen is TNT.die will come from one of these timers here. So this message occurs one time. So I actually had it set up wrong in the first place. So yeah, the very first time I had it backwards. This will be TNT.explode 1. So when TNT is in range, it's only once going to send out the message TNT.explode 1. I had it as just the normal explode. And so then, because it's only happening one time, TNT.explode 1, it's going to be received TNT.explode 1, and that's going to send off that chain. And so we're actually going to make this cave.rock1 and make sure this tag is also cave.rock1. So let's say there's more rocks throughout the cave itself. We can name each of them their own tag, and that way we can use that same message multiple times. I'm going to use this one as well, because this is going to be what destroys our actual TNT. So this is what we had set up before. So when TNT.explode1 is received, which only happens once, that's the important thing. Hey, Nervex! Welcome, how's your day going? And Maxi, I'd have to write down what message goes where to keep track. Yeah, I must admit that if I were to revisit this, even in a week, without proper organization, I will be lost. We're doing well, Nervex. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about Game Maker, feel free to drop them. But we're currently walking our way through adding an explosion to our TNT mechanic. And so that took us the better part of an hour to figure it out. But now we're just making it to where it explodes on 2 different occasions. One, when 30 seconds, runs out, it's like a timed explosion. So if you didn't find somewhere that could use this explosion, it just blows up in your hands. You have 30 seconds. The other one was this wall. So when you walk up to the wall, it'll still explode and you won't have to wait 30 seconds. And so now we're just making it communicate to where an explosion will go off in both scenarios. And so this can be reused throughout your game. And so while it might take us a while to set up, it's going to be essential for the gameplay. So I walked up to that door, nothing happened. But now I'm going to bring a mushroom. First thing you'll notice is a explosion there. And that kind of like starts the timer. So it killed our mushroom, but a couple of things didn't happen. The first was it took a second longer than it should have to destroy that wall. And then it also didn't spawn the fireflies. The fireflies are what made it explode in the first place. So we're going to double check, see why this might not have spawned. We have the correct tag. We have a TNT.explode. So it might have just been a simple death delay. We'll put it at 0 for now. Oh, look. I was sending to tags, but this specific message was not being received by our firefly spawner. So we need to make sure that's there. And this particular number pad does not need to be reset. So we can just destroy it as soon as we're done with it. It's obviously going to have an explosion of its own, which is great. We can actually use that to our advantage. We can put it where the door is, and it can serve as some sort of, like chain reaction and be, the communication. And so this is what registers our, like TNT bringing it to the door, is this detect entity. So when it detects our TNT mushroom here, it's going to send out that explosion. We don't need it to do much of anything else. I will actually adjust the explosion radius, because that way as soon as we're getting close to this door, I'll have it at 3. We'll send out that chain effect. So there is a bit of a timing issue here. The best way we can go about that is making this have a timer too. I think 2 seconds was about right. And when this door explodes, we can actually send out that death command, the TNT die. So this number pad we don't even need. So instead, the door is going to serve that purpose. TNT.die. We want to send it to our mushroom, so TNT. We'll do a 1 second delay, see how that feels. And we'll just double check, make sure our TNT has the correct tag, which it does. We pick up a mushroom. It immediately spawns some fireflies. Bring it to this door. It appears as though my TNT is not spawning or dying fast enough, and that's because it had a delay. And all it took was for me to look at the asset itself. So we grab this, run it back to that door. Nice. I mean, we fixed it. I do want like probably a 1 second on there. What would be great is if as soon as we approach, like it drops the mushroom. So that might be something. But that'll be for another day. This was actually great progress. And I'm going to be using this mechanic for this entire kind of like section. So the delay of 0 is actually better. It's closer. V just streamed, thank you! Thanks, V. But for those of you new here, thank you so much for your support, your lurk. Don't forget to follow. You'll know when I go live. My current schedule will be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for 2 hours. And on weekends, I think we'll be doing Saturdays. I'll probably be going for a longer period of time. So that's the current plan. And then Sundays will probably be the day off. And so, everyone here, we're going to find someone to raid. But before we do through what we accomplished today, we have this mushroom here in front of our friend Mary that when we approach, it's going to start this timer. And now with this mushroom in hand, it'll explode after 30 seconds unless we bring it to something that can use it, such as this door. And as soon as we approached, it also spawned this boulder, but only one time. And Sparky Snickle, yeah, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's our current start time, Monday through Friday. And I'll have a better way to kind of visualize that. And Sparky, again, thank you for making that schedule for Sandbox streamers. I forgot to ask you about that, but yes, that for the time being will be my schedule. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern until 10 a.m. Eastern. Generally, our friend Game Dizzy starts up about 10. And yeah, V, excellent question. Sparky, if you'd like to link it here in chat, we would love that. I can also find the link. I have it bookmarked. Nice. Thank you, Sparky. And yeah, I pulled it up too. I want Saturday to be, part of our streaming schedule. But let me ask you guys this. If we did Saturday or Sunday, and one of those was like my rest day, what would you prefer? Like if you could catch a stream, and this is just me throwing a question out there. But until then, we're going to hop over to our friend Demi for Reals. Ooh, okay. V likes Sundays off. The Demi for Real. Alright, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around for the raid. Maybe copy a couple emotes. But it was a fantastic stream. Thank you so much for popping in, saying hi, lurking, working, and just being a good overall person. You're a good person. Did you know that? I know you try hard. I see it. I see how good of a person you are. Who's a good person? You're a good person. Okay, now I'm making it weird now. Thank you so much, Chelio Sparky HC. Go West. V, thank you so much for your help. Little Legion, big shout out for all your help troubleshooting. Maxi Mac. Professional Vox Editor. Mr. Winning, always winning.
You know, you make a choice to win, and you win. I'm sorry, winning.
And anyone I missed, just know you're loved. Chelios, thank you. Bye all. Let's go hang out with Demi for real.